Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's February 27th. We're getting pretty close to the month end here. I think there's 2 more days left in February. And I wanted to talk about some of the market sort of setups that we have, the market movements that we've gotten so far, and where I believe the market is going for maybe the next month or so as we close out Q1 of this year. And then I'll also talk about some of the things that I believe, how 2024 is going to shape out, right? Because we've had such an aggressive move in BTC over the last, 6 months or so. It kind of gives you vibes of something like this happening, but it also kind of gives you vibes of, what happened in 2015, 16, and 17 if you were around back then, right? And so one of the things that I want to mention and talk about is where we are in the current cycle, where we are in the meta of things, meaning um, what is the new meta in crypto? Is it AI? Is it gaming? Is it new ecosystems, DePIN, etc. Right? So let's talk about all these things. Let's get started. First things first, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you follow me here on Twitter if you haven't been already. And make sure that you are well aware of all things that are happening in crypto via my Twitter or my private Discord here. So first things first, I'm going to talk about some of the positions that I retain just because I like to be um, relatively um, relatively transparent with my community. So let me edit this real quick because it's bothering me. This should not be here because it's already here. Okay, so I like to talk about some of the positions I retain. Again, this is generally for my private Discord community. The link is found in the YouTube description below. And so let's get started. So first things first, Send, which is a project that I used to work with, and really, really smart people. Ethan, who is one of the founders of the project, incredibly hardworking, talented guy. So you could find Send here in send.it, I think, or maybe it's just Send. There it is. Okay. So Send is basically the Cash App of Ethereum. I think that's what they've branded it as, or PayPal of Ethereum. And so what they've done recently is they've decided to move a bunch of their liquidity as well as their token to Base. And we're going to get into Base in a little bit, but I think this is a brilliant idea. And I think Send is going to do really well on it. So again, this is one of those projects that you need to look deeper into. Again, full disclosure, I already own some. Full disclosure, this is not investment advice, so you are free to do whatever you want. So the point is that this is a pretty solid project, and I bought into Send last year. I think around last year, June, July, if I'm not mistaken. And back then, I think it was trading somewhere close to a million market cap, less than a million, somewhere down here. And now it's trading, a little bit above 2.4 million market cap. So pretty, solid movement so far. And so that position is doing relatively well, right? Um, Now we'll get into Base in a second. Let me go through the rest of my positions here. All right. The next one is RLB. Now, again, RLB, if unless you're living under a rock, you should know that RLB is one of the main major crypto sort of exchanges that is like gaming and casino and crypto futures, etc. Right? And so RLB, I bought in like last summer, which was around June, July, somewhere back here, if I'm not mistaken, right? And my average was somewhere between like oh 06, oh 07. But I think I bought, up and up. So I think it's more like oh 07, oh 08. Now, my average is a little bit higher, oh 09, because I just added a few weeks back. And you can find all the updates in Altcoins Spot Buy channel. This is available again for Advantage members. And you can find the updates there on basically everything that I'm buying, selling, um, etc. Okay. So now going back to RLB. Okay. So I am a big fan of RLB simply because I don't think there's any crypto product out there that has that has the, let's just say, user experience, user interface, kind of like Rollbit does. I think it's a pretty phenomenal exchange. I think the liquidity is insane. The gaming and gambling aspects of it are truly sort of incredible in that what they've been able to do. But again, this is not a decentralized sort of product, right? It's a fully centralized product, but the token is just a token associated with a centralized product. So sort of don't get it twisted that this is a fully decentralized product or anything, because it's not. So I think Rollbit is going to do really well in the GambleFi, space that we've spoken about before, right? So this one is more like payments. This is more GambleFi, and then this one is more like gaming slash play to earn. This is much more smaller market cap. I think this team is going to take a little bit longer to work things out. I had given people entry in Cheetah much longer ago. Let me see here where I have so many different lists. Make sure you use Deck Screener, by the way, if you want to create watch lists and stuff of different tokens you're watching in different categories. It helps a lot. And so here's Cheetah, right? Cheetah is currently trading at 10K market cap. But when we started speaking about it, Cheetah was somewhere close to 6 to 10K back here. And then it went up to about 200K. And then, of course, prices sold off, right? Now, most of my position I haven't really sold because I'm still waiting for the team to actually build out a product. Now, again, teams can always give up. They may pivot. They may quit. Maybe they are not able to build it. But the point is, like, sometimes you get so early into a product that, the downside is like you already bought in at 10 to 12K average. Sure, your downside is zero, but the upside is pretty much infinite, right? And so I don't quite worry about my position all that much. And then just kind of like full disclosure, there's a couple of people that I know, myself including. I think we own probably 25 to 35% of the total float of Cheetah. So, I mean, price can only go to zero if we all sell, I guess. But for the most part, like, we're not really selling. We're hoping that the team keeps building. I try to keep up with the team regularly, but right now I'm not as connected with the team. I'm focusing on other projects. So again, full disclosure, this is going to be a position that, either goes to zero or, does really well in the future. Ghost, which is your SLP token. Remember I told y'all that SPL22 is a new sort of token model schema that's coming out in Solana. Basically, what it does is it enables the ability for the tokens to be exchanged with the NFT in smaller fractionalized style. So you can kind of read up on it here in the Ghost Coin website. You can also read up on it, just on Google in general, right? So SPL22 is going to be sort of, in my opinion, the new meta, but I don't know which one of these guys is going to succeed, right? I don't know if it's Ghost Token or if it's Vice. So, we'll see, right? Exactly what happens. Now, going back to the position updates, ST bot, which I told y'all, I think months ago, we spoke about it months ago. And that one was one of my favorite pickups very, very early on in the November 2023 era. And that thing did really, really well. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the entire move here. I was too chicken to hold on, but most of the members did. And I'm glad, we caught this, huge move. And sometimes that's really what it takes, right? Is like you have to recognize that some products are really great. They may take a little while to pan out, and hold on to your conviction in them, and then you get a big boom like this, right? And you reap the rewards. So either way, I took in a good amount of profit. Profit is profit for me. So all is well in that front. And then the next one is WHALES. Again, another product that we found relatively early. Let me find out where WHALES is. So WHALES is here. If you're not familiar with WHALES, it's a protocol where you can buy points, pre-sale tokens, new tokens, OTC markets, all listed on WHALES. And I think this is multi-chain too, so it doesn't mean it's only for Solana. So I think it's a pretty unique product. And we found it somewhere close to like $1.20. And that one again also paid off in a big way, got out at a $3 average, almost 140% profit. So again, phenomenal, right? Now finally, we have SNS. Again, all this stuff, by the way, is timestamped. Like, here's a perfect example of us picking up SNS. Where is it? SNS was trading at 0.045 approximately. I even pointed out much earlier, like I think I pointed out 0.03, but I think I picked it up a little bit after. And so capital size, sometimes I disclose how much capital size it is. Sometimes I don't, but $2,500, nice sort of substantial move in that. And now SNS trades at, approximately double that. It went up a little bit higher than that. But the point is that substantial move in the market, capture the rewards and the gain, and then get out in a nice profit, right? So we've had some really, really healthy profit taking over the past, few days, few weeks, and that's been incredible. Same thing goes with like long positions or BTC or crypto or whatever. Like I've taken so many positions over the last few months that I let people know exactly how I'm trading in and out of the market, or I will let you know in altcoin analysis where I see the market going, and update you accordingly that way, right? So all in all, I think this kind of goes now into the questions of where I see the market going. So let's get into it, right? I think BTC over the last few days has had a pretty substantial move, obviously, right? Market is up pretty much what 10-12% in BTC over the last 2 days. And whenever BTC has such substantial moves, especially into key resistance points, especially as other aspects of the market have also moved up. Like I think alts also moved up, 5, 10, 15% over the last, 24, 48 hours. You probably want to have a little bit of caution, a little bit of profit taking in mind, just to, sort of stay disciplined, right? And not to get too aggressively bullish right near, key all-time local highs or yearly highs rather. Okay. And so what that kind of tells me is, yes, BTC is at a very sort of early cycle, very aggressive move. However, given that alts have also moved up aggressively, given that pretty much all aspects of the market have moved up aggressively over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think that kind of tells me that we are very, very close, if not already, at a local sort of crescendo in the market, meaning same thing with equities related to crypto, right? Like for example, coin is up 16-18% yesterday. It's up 4 to 5% today. IBIT, which is the Bitcoin Trust, up substantially yesterday and today. So all things kind of point to a sort of cooling off period, in my opinion, that might be necessary for a reset in the market. And same thing with GBTC, right? I think the markets are extended, and I do think that we need to get a pretty substantial pullback. Now, again, I pointed this out, sometime in mid-January, where obviously clearly I was wrong because price went from, I think I pointed out 42, 43K, price went up another 30%, right? So whether you think that's, me being early or wrong, or maybe both, it doesn't matter, because the point is that after a move from here to here, 180%, another 40 to 50% doesn't really capture that much, especially if you're considering that if you got out here and let's just say you missed an extra 30% move, but you caught a big chunk of the move on BTC here to here, right? It doesn't really matter because you're not going to be able to snipe bottoms and you're not going to be able to snipe tops. Same thing goes in altcoins. The goal is like whether it's something like I traded, SNS or whales or all these assets that go up beyond my exit. The point is that that's what's going to happen in these assets. They're going to find sort of buyers and liquidity, much, much higher than you anticipated. But the reality is if you play the game long enough, you can take in a substantial profit and get out in time, hopefully to play the next cycle, meaning like to be able to have the cash and the opportunity to buy the next pullback. And maybe you don't get substantial pullbacks. Maybe it's possible that you only get 10-20% pullbacks here and then prices rocket again. But either way, a pullback will be a pullback. And I think most people will be able to know that the market is coming into a high. Things are really extended, whether you look at equities related to crypto or even something as simple as Nvidia, which has gone up substantially. Something as simple as SMCI, which is over the past like month, from middle of January went from like 330 all the way to 1,000. There's a lot of excitement, I think, that came into the market. And I do think that you probably want to reconsider your overall excitement and bullishness now, simply because I think the risks are now significantly higher if you're trying to enter a position. If you're trying to exit a position where you are considering taking profit, I think this is probably the best time, in my opinion. So again, not investment advice. So overall, I think that's kind of where the market is now. Over the next 1 to 2 months, if we do get some sort of pullbacks, right, I expect some of the pullbacks to be somewhat violent, something like that. Oops, something like that, hopefully. Maybe it goes lower. I'm really not sure. But the point is, like, let's just say you're already at 57 and this is the high. Well, pull back to 38K is 30%. That's a pretty substantial pullback. I'll pull back to 42 or 44K is also 23%. That's also a substantial pullback. But when BTC has 20 to 30% pullbacks, you should probably expect altcoins like, let's just say Solana, for example, to have maybe a 30 to 40% pullback. So maybe Solana starts breaking down from here, and maybe the 30 to 40% pullback brings it back to like $70 or something. Okay. So that might be, some sort of consideration you might want to, think about. And I've also spoken about, February or March, I was really expecting Sol to pull back down to $50 or so approximately. Clearly, February's done. It's not pulled back that far. But who knows, maybe March and April, it does. Or maybe that's kind of like, fool's errand to even think about such a massive pullback, right? So maybe it doesn't happen. But the point is, pullbacks likely will happen. They will come in a very violent, aggressive manner, and you want to be prepared for things like that. Okay. So Solana is definitely one I'll be looking at. Another strong asset, I think, locally, I think is Say. I think Say is sitting above. It's a pretty key level on a daily basis. I think if it can sit above this level right here for another maybe 24, 48 hours, maybe it's possible that it squeezes up here, depending on what BTC does. Same thing, I think, kind of goes for Solana. Like, I think if BTC doesn't crack, Solana could squeeze up all the way to 120. Maybe it pulls back down further from there. No idea. But this is kind of the movement that you should be thinking about, over the next remainder of the week. And then after that, I think headed into March again, caution is warranted, right? Because prices going up so aggressively, you really, really do need to think about what exactly is the market doing in terms of baiting such high sentiment, and baiting people into such high prices or aggressive moves, right? Usually high sentiment with extremely high prices, more often than not, you do get baited or trapped into taking on too much risk, unnecessary risk. However, looking at the weekly, the monthly on BTC, clearly incredibly strong. And, this candle right here for BTC looks like this candle right here for BTC prior to just, ripping through everything, right? So I'm quite aware that, yes, markets are looking incredibly good and things could get, really, really crazy really fast. So I'm not going to fight them. I'm not going to short them, but, taking profit and being a healthy profit taker and recognizing rotations probably will be healthy and helpful. Okay. So that's pretty much, what I have on that front. Now, finally, I want to talk about other aspects of the market that I'm looking at. So we spoke about, some of the AI plays, some of the new products like Whales. In the AI plays, you have things like, OTK, Nosana, SNS, right? These are the AI plays, especially on Solana, because I believe that Solana is going to be the exchange or the ecosystem where AI products can succeed, and probably even gaming, though I don't know much about gaming products, but I do think that they will succeed on Solana specifically, simply because of high performance, high throughput, low costs, speed, etc. Right. But the other aspect of crypto, which I do think that, people ignore typically, is where is like the new hot, shiny product. And I think that is probably base chain, right? So base chain is probably going to be a big feature, probably second half of 2024. And I think, given that they're trying to build a solution right through Coinbase, and Coinbase is a huge backer and owner of Base, definitely something to consider. I think it's going to be a really, really unique L2 chain, even though L2s are a little bit overplayed, given that in L2 world you have OP and Arbitrum, and you have, AVAX is technically an EVM chain. What's it called? Like Matic is an L2, right? They're building out so many different L2s, but the point is that base chain, could be the next huge L2 chain. And that is something that you want to be paying attention to. And one of the ways that I'm kind of expressing that view is what are some of the new products on base ecosystem, right? So one of the things that you want to start doing is looking at all these products and experimenting and trying them and see what's good, what's bad, what does really well. My experimentation so far is still, first of all, rudimentary and novice, because I find these products to be a little bit more clunky. They're not obviously as smooth as Solana products. Solana products are top tier just because of the chain itself is so extremely fast and so cheap. So you have things like Phantom Wallet right here. You have things like Jupe.ag. You have things like Radium, which are excellent products. Then you have products like Whales Market being built out again on Solana. So all these products are truly incredible and fast and very good UX UI. And I don't think base chain has that yet, but you kind of get to experiment and do things a little bit early. And so, one of the things that I was trying was this product called BlueCore. They don't really have a fully working functional product. They're actually moving from their V1 version to their V2. But this is one of the few tokens. And now, again, I already own a position, pretty much average price, like where it is right now. Not investment advice, but the point is, like, if you start talking to the team and join the Telegram and start looking at their white paper, what you'll realize is this is one of the few products that's actually trying to build out, a swap, a DEX, sort of a trading platform on base chain, right? So this is on base. And you can get in relatively early, which is like 700 market cap, right? So the point is that what you want to start thinking about over the next, few months is if base chain is going to do well, will products like Blue Core Labs do well with it? And again, this could easily go to zero. It could be worth nothing. So, don't blame me if you do buy it or don't buy it. Um, because again, I bought it because I believe that you want to start focusing on early products on the base chain, and you want to start experimenting and finding the ones that have tokens that you can potentially, look into or research into, right? So this is not investment advice, but I'm just telling you that you want to start focusing on base chain in general, because that's where money could be going, and you don't want to miss out on that opportunity. Okay. So that's my overall insight on the market. We talked about a lot about BTC, coming to key resistance levels. It's up a decent amount. Obviously, it could, when Bitcoin gets going, by the way, you like do not want to fade it just because it could just keep pressing higher and higher. So definitely, I would not be shorting personally. Totally your call. Um, Altcoins, yes, some of them could get dragged up with it, like I said, Say, and Tia and maybe Sui, but personally, obviously, the strength is in BTC, right? BTC is up 34% on the month. On a daily basis, Sui and all these coins kind of don't look good. Solana, average strength. Maybe the only thing that looks really good alongside BTC is Ethereum. And even Ethereum is coming into a pretty key point of resistance right here. But again, some whipsawing here. And if you get some sort of whipsaw like this, and then ETH starts trending up again, I think ETH is going to just rip back up to 4,000. But again, just something that I'm kind of thinking about in terms of opportunity. Okay. So we'll see where that goes over the next few days. Everything else looks decent. Things are moving along just fine. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. So yeah, AI coins, gaming, base chain, Blue Core, um, Send, Whales Market. These are all projects, SNS, Ghost. These are all projects that you want to start doing your own research into, simply because even though we may be locally extended in terms of rest of 2024, given that it's only February, things could get really, really crazy by the end of the year. And you don't really want to miss, you don't want to miss that. All right. So good luck, take care, and we'll chat soon. Okay. Cheers.